settle, calm and settle.
calm and settled, and then feel emotionally connected in safe and responsive relationships before they can be ready and able to engage effectively in formal instruction. Further, rest and recovery are not an anathema to excellence and high expectations. Science shows that rest helps humans to be more innovative, more creative, and more productive. When we allow ourselves to rest, we invest in our sustainability.
Good. How to cultivate well-being for all.
Who gets to be well leaders at every level should take an
Unflinching, yeah.
unflinching look at which students we serve well and which students are being left behind. Many schools have never been the sanctuaries for some students that they are for others. They have not been places of belonging or connection. They have not been places where every student knows that the adults believe in them or hold high expectations for their futures. In short, they have been places that perpetuate,
Perpetuate.
perpetuate the same systems of oppressions often found in other aspects of their
Lives.
life. Working toward well-being in schools must be done hand in hand with the work of transforming schools to be anti-racist. To truly know, value, and serve all students, schools must embrace the primacy, strengths, and self-determination of the children, families, and communities they serve. Schools achieve these conditions for successful teaching, learning, and thriving by authentically
Thriving.
thriving by authentically embracing the values, histories, and relationships of all students, their families, and their communities. They sustain these conditions by engaging in a continuous cycle of self-reflection, authentic and open partnership with their families and communities, and a willingness to share the resources and power to lead and operate their school to achieve equality. Educators must truly value black and brown students and their communities and act to dismantle racist, homophobic, xenophobic, and other systems of oppression. They must address their implicit, implicit,
Implicit, yeah.
implicit biases and embrace culturally responsive teaching practices so that every child knows that their identity is valued and has a sense of agency and belonging in school. They must create systems and policies that
Systems with an S. Systems.
they must they must create systems and policies that allow all students to learn, grow, and achieve their highest potential.
Really excellent job. There were a lot of hard words in that, and you just got it. Okay, let's keep going. How to plan for a better tomorrow.
What if 5 years from now we look back on 2020 as the year that K-12 education took the first real steps toward becoming a truly equitable, sustainable, equitable, sustainable system that gives each and every child the education and care they need to develop a sense of personal purpose, the ability to sustain healthy relationships, a sense of place in the community, success in school and the workplace, success in school and workplace, and engage citizenship. The benefit of so much uncertainty is that so much more looks possible, despite our chaotic context, chaotic, despite our chaotic context, it is important to stay focused on the azimuth, azimuth,
Azimuth
azimuth.
of
Can you repeat?
azimuth.
Azimuth, azimuth of our aspiration. This moment brings with an opportunity to set ourselves on a path toward creating the conditions for every person in the school community to teach, learn, and thrive. For Trí Đức News in English, I'm Mary.
Great job. Very good. Really, really hard words. You did really well.
Yes, thank you.
That was amazing.
Xin chào, tôi là Mary. Xin chào, tôi là Mary và bạn đang nghe tin tức Trí Đức bằng tiếng Anh. Tuần này chúng ta cùng tìm hiểu về giáo dục khai phóng được lồng ghép trong các lớp học năng khiếu tiếng Anh tại trường Trí Đức. Tất cả các lớp học này sẽ có quy mô nhỏ, không có 25 học sinh, được tổ chức thành các buổi trao đổi, thảo luận giữa giáo viên và học sinh về các chủ đề của cuộc sống, nhằm thúc đẩy mối quan hệ gần gũi giữa giáo viên và học sinh. Bản tin Trí Đức bằng tiếng Anh tìm cách hiểu tác động hiện tại và tương lai của những gián đoạn chính với trình độ làm bộ kỹ năng và mô hình tuyển dụng trong các ngành và quốc gia khác nhau. Nó làm được như vậy bằng cách yêu cầu các nhà điều hành tài năng và chiến lược của nhà tuyển dụng lớn nhất hiện nay hình dung việc làm trong ngành của họ sẽ thay đổi như thế nào cho năm 2022, năm 2020. Sự gián đoạn của công nghệ đang tương tác với các yếu tố kinh tế và nhân khẩu học để tạo ra một cân bằng hoàn hảo trên thị trường lao động trong 5 năm tới. Đã phát triển các lĩnh vực rời rạc trước đây như trí tuệ nhân tạo và học máy, robot, công nghệ nano, in 3D, di truyền và công nghệ sinh học đều đang xây dựng và khuếch đại lẫn nhau. Đồng thời, các cuộc cách mạng công nghệ này là sự phát triển tổng thể về kinh tế xã hội gần tương đương và nhân khẩu học có tác động với các yếu tố công nghệ. Mary, bản tin Trí Đức bằng tiếng Anh, Hà Nội. Hi, I'm Mary, and you're listening to Trí Đức News in English. The concept of excellence can be hard to define. Quite often we know it when we see it, but have trouble articulating how it can be achieved. As a parent, it is important to be able to define and recognize excellence when you are choosing a school for your child. Here are some keys to consider when you're choosing a school. Aristotle, a Greek philosopher, defined that excellence is an upward by training and habituation. We do not act rightly because we have virtues or excellence, but we rather have some dues. We rather have dues because we have acted rightly. We have what we repeatedly do excellent. Then it's not an act but a habit. To demonstrate excellence, you need to be specific about what you are aiming for in a practical and tangible sense. In schools, we can define excellence against a set of values and outcomes that students try to achieve. They are constructs that make research, research meaningful. Quality teachers are the backbone of a great school. Excellent in teaching evidence in the qualification evidence in the qualifications of staff, as well as professional learning opportunities offered by school to its teachers. Schools have pride themselves on staff excellence. Boys who are enrolled in a school that demonstrates excellence are more likely to try and succeed. It's important to remember that true excellence moves beyond a set of principles and outcomes. There are a set of beliefs at the core that determine a school's ways of thinking and being. Thanks for listening. Mary, Trí Đức News in English, Hà Nội.
Good. Okay, do I start or you start?
You.
Okay. What is the culture of a school that achieves excellence in education?
A clear set of values and beliefs that is practiced and reinforced by own authorities in schools. A school that achieves excellence set out their expectation for students, staff, and parents, and they communicate that message regularly to their community.
How well-being is important for excellence in education?
This relates to the collective and individual needs of students, including but not limited to psychological, and physiological belonging, self-esteem, and self-actualization. According to Abraham Maslow's hierarchies of needs, well-being in school revolves around the key ways that different groups can be together, get involved, and be fulfilled in their learning journey.
What is the requirements of curriculum and learning for excellence?
This is a structured plan of action that delivers a high standard and equitable academic opportunity for students. The NSW Department of Education states that curriculum programs and teaching practice effectively develop the knowledge, understanding, and skill of all students. Use evidence-based teaching practice and innovative delivery mechanisms where appropriate.
Okay, you're leaving the S at the end of words. So maybe go a little more slowly and be sure you get the S's at the ends. Practices, students, like that, mechanisms.
Yeah.
What are the requirements for assessment and reporting of an excellence in education school?
This refers to the ability and resource needed to effectively
resources with an S.
Resources needed to effectively monitor, plan, and report on student performance to parents and carriers. Consistent practice in this
practices with an S.
Practices in these categories should be evidenced school-wide and across all learning areas. Schools that demonstrate excellence excel in this area.
How to measure student performance to achieve excellence in education. Schools that achieve excellence in 4 categories already covered tend to be successful in student performance as well. Their students consistently excel in their performance across learning areas. What are the connections between equity, excellence, and well-being in education?
Educators are finding new clarity about the deep connection between equity, excellence.
Connections with an S.
Connections between equity, excellence, and well-being in education. In this moment, practice this honor can seize what practitioner.
Now, one more time, practitioners.
Practitioners.
You got it.
Practitioners can see what they research and science have been telling us for some time. The concepts of equity, excellence, and well-being are an interrelated
sequence
of efforts. When leaders understand these connections, the path toward a better education system become clearer. We hope this idea here help leaders at every level find
leaders with an S.
Leaders at every level find their way forward during this challenging time.
Good. What is a vision of excellence?
We begin with a vision of excellent education for every child and work backward from there in order for any efforts to be strategic and coherent. It is important to have a clear vision of the end goal. The center understands excellence as much more than proficiencies in a set of academic standards. Rather, an excellent education also encourages students to be curious about the world around them. Gives the tools they need to explore and discover the things they are curious about, promotes their urgency to affect change, builds a sense of self-worth, inspires their personal purpose and place in the community, and equips them with the knowledge and capacity to have economic and social success as others. We want that every single child. What is your vision of excellence? Is your notion or vision of excellence to guide your work with students, families, teachers, staff, and community?
Good. How to make well-being not just a priority, but a prerequisite.
Excellence starts with well-being. This forms every member of our school community is returning to school years profoundly changed. Some will be coping with grief or anxiety. Grief, or anxiety. Others will have discovered new identities. As activists, leaders, or caregivers, many leaders feel an urgency to return to academic learning, perhaps an unfamiliar ritual that could provide comfort to teachers and students alike. However, schools and districts should address the well-being and connection needs of their students and staff, both as first priorities before academic teaching and learning, and in an ongoing way throughout this every school years. Scientific and evidence suggests that well-being and connection are prerequisites.
Prerequisites. That's a hard one. Prerequisites.
Prerequisites.
You got it.
To effective teaching and learning, children, youth, and others need to children, youth, and others need to be feel regulated. That is, feeling physically and emotionally calm and settled, and then feel emotionally connected in safe and responsive relationships before they can be ready and able to engage effectively in formal instruction. Further, rest and recovery are not anathema to excellence and high expectations. Science shows that rest helps humans to be more innovative, more creative, and more productive. When we allow ourselves to rest, we invest our sustainability.
How to cultivate well-being for all.
Who gets to be well? Leaders at every level should take an unfighting look at which students will serve well and which students are being left behind. Many schools have never been to the
sanctuary sanctuaries for some students that they are not for others. They have not been placed of belongings or connection. They have not been places where every student knows that others believe in them or hold high expectation for their futures. In short, they have been places that perpetuate the same system of operations often found in other aspects of their life. Working toward well-being in school must be done school must be done hand in hand with the work of transforming schools to be anti-racist, to truly know values, and serve all students. Schools must embrace the premises, strengths, and self-determinations of the children, families, and communities they serve. Schools achieve their conditions for successful teaching, learning, thriving by authentically embracing the values, histories, and relationships of all students, families, their communities. They sustain the condition by engaging in a continuous circle of self-reflection, unchecked and open partnership with their families and communities, and a willingness to share the resources and power to lead and operate their school. To achieve accurately, educators must truly value right and brown students and their communities and act dismantle racist, homophobic, xenophobic, and other systems of oppressions. They must address their implicit biases and embrace culturally responsive teaching practice so that every child knows that their identity evolve and have a sense of urgency and belonging in school. They must they must create systems and policies that allow all students to learn, grow, and achieve their highest potential.
How to plan for a better tomorrow. Let me hear you.
What if 5 years from now we look back on 2020 other years that K-12 education took the first real step toward being a truly equitable, sustainable system that gives each and every child the education and care they need to develop a sense of personal purpose, the ability to sustain healthy relationships, center of place in the community, success, school and workplace, and engage citizenship. The benefits of so much uncertainties is that so much more look possible. That's why our chaotic context. It is important to say focus on azimuth of our aspiration. This moment brings with an opportunity to set ourselves on a path towards creating the condition for every person in school community to teach, learn, and thrive. For Trí Đức News in English, I'm Mary.
Great job. Very good. Again, lots of hard words, and you got them.
Hi Mary.
Hey.
Xin chào, tôi là Mary và bạn đang nghe tin tức Trí Đức bằng tiếng Anh. Tuần này chúng ta cùng tìm hiểu về giáo dục khai phóng được lồng ghép trong các lớp học năng khiếu tiếng Anh tại trường Trung học phổ thông Trí Đức. Tất cả lớp học này sẽ có quy mô nhỏ, không quá 25 học sinh, được tổ chức thành các buổi trao đổi, thảo luận giữa giáo viên và học sinh về các chủ đề cuộc sống nhằm thúc đẩy mối quan hệ gần gũi giữa giáo viên và học sinh. Nếu bạn đang lựa chọn đại học của mình ngay hôm nay, kỹ năng STEM là một lựa chọn tốt, nhưng quan trọng nhất là bạn cần phải học chuyên sâu trong suốt cuộc đời mình. Hai loại công việc mới và đang nổi bật do tần suất và tính nhất quán mà chúng được đề cập trên thực tế tất cả các ngành và khu vực địa lý. Đầu tiên là vai trò của nhà phân tích dữ liệu mà các công ty mong đợi sẽ giúp họ hiểu và có được những hiểu biết sâu sắc từ dòng dữ liệu được tạo bởi sự gián đoạn công nghệ. Thứ hai là vai trò của đại diện bán hàng chuyên biệt, vì trên thực tế mọi ngành sẽ cần phải có kỹ năng hơn trong việc thương mại hóa và giải thích các dịch vụ mới của họ cho các ngành doanh nghiệp không quen hay hàng chính phù hợp với tiêu dùng. Một kiểu quản lý cao cấp mới cũng sẽ được yêu cầu. Một người cũng có thể chèo lái thành công các công ty vượt qua sự thay đổi và đổ vỡ sắp tới. Mary, bản tin Trí Đức bằng tiếng Anh, Hà Nội. Return to road break. Khiếp, đọc dài thế. Hi, I'm Mary, and you're listening to Trí Đức News in English. The concept of excellence can be hard to define. Quite often we know it, we see it, but have trouble articulating how it can be achieved. As a parent, it is important to be able to define and recognize excellence when you are choosing a school for your child. Here are some key things to consider when choosing a school. Aristotle, a Greek philosopher, defined that excellence is an art you learn by training and habituation. We do not act rightly because we have virtue or excellence, but we rather have those because we have act rightly. Now we are what we repeatedly do. If excellent, then it's not an act but a habit. To demonstrate excellence, you need to be specific about what you can aim for in a practical and tangible sense. In school, we have defined excellence against as a set of values and outcomes that students strive to achieve. These are structural that make the research result meaningful. Equality teachers are backbones of great school. Excellence is teaching evidence. Excellence is teaching is evident in the qualification of staff as well as the professional learning opportunities offered by the school is to its teachers. School has excelled pride themselves on staff excellence. Boys who are enrolled in a school that demonstrates excellence are more likely to serve and success.
Right.
It's important to remember that true excellence moves beyond a set of principles and outcomes. There are a set of beliefs at the core that determine a school's way of thinking and being. Thank you for listening. Mary, Trường News in English, Hà Nội.
You did very well. That was excellent. Very good job. Can you hear me?
Cô nói gì đấy?
Can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you.
You can hear me? You
Em
can't?
thể nghe cô nói gì không? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. You did a very good job. You did. That was one of the best you've done. I'm very proud of you. Very good. Okay. So do you ask or I ask? Who goes next?
You are N and I am a student.
Okay.
Okay.
What is the culture of a school that achieves excellence in education?
A clear set of values and beliefs that is practiced and reinforced by authorities in the school. A school that achieves excellence set out their expectations for students and staff and parents. They communicate that message regularly to their community.
Good. How well-being is important for excellence in education?
This relates to the collective and individual needs of students, including but not limited to psychological, physiological belonging, self-esteem, and self-actualization. According to Abraham Maslow, hierarchy of needs, well-being in school revolves around the key ways that different groups can come together, get involved, and be self-based in their learning journey.
Fulfilled in their learning journey. Good. What is the requirements of curriculum and learning for excellence?
This is structured plans of action that delivers a high standard and equitable academic opportunities for students. The NSW Department of Education states that curriculum programs and teaching practice effectively develop the knowledge, understanding, and skills of all students using evidence-based teaching practice and innovative delivery mechanisms.
That's a hard word. Mechanisms. One more time. Mechanisms. You got it. What are the requirements? Yeah, you got it. What are the requirements for assessment and reporting of an excellence in education school?
This refers to ability and resources needed to effectively monitor, plans, and report on student performance to parents and careers.
This is carers, meaning people that take care of children. Yeah, it's a strange word.
Carers. Consistent practice in this category should be evident school-wide and across all learning areas. School that demonstrate excel in this area.
How to measure student performance to achieve excellence in education?
Schools that achieve excellence in the four categories already covered tend to be successful in student performance as well. Their students consistently excel in their performance across learning areas.
Pronunciation is doing very well. Okay, what are the connections between equity, excellence, and well-being in education?
Educators are finding new clarity about the deep connections between equity, excellence, and well-being in education. This moment, practitioners can see what research and science have been telling us for some time. The concepts of equity, excellence, and well-being are an interrelated sequence.
Interrelated, you got it?
Interrelated sequence of efforts. When leaders understand this connection, the path toward a better education system becomes clearer. We hope the ideas here help leaders at every level find their way forward during this challenging time.
Good. What is a vision of excellence?
We begin with the vision, an excellent education for every child, and work backward from there in order for any effort to be strategic and comprehend it.
Coherent.
Coherent. It is important to have a clear vision of the end goal, the center. Understand excellence as much as more proficiency in a set of academic standards. Rather, an excellent education is also encourage students to be curious about the world around them, give them the tools they need to explore and discover the things they are curious about, promotes their agency to affect change, builds their sense of self-worth, inspires their personal purpose and place in the community, and equip them in the knowledge and capacities to have economic and social success as
Adults, yeah.
We want that for every single child. What is your vision of excellence? Use your notion or vision of excellence to guide your work with students, families, teachers, staff, and community.
Good. How to make well-being not just a priority, but a prerequisite?
Excellence starts with well-being. This fall, every member of our school community is returning to the school year for proudly exchange. Some will be coping with rage or grief, rage or anxiety,
anxiety.
Others will have discovered new identities as activities, leaders, or caregivers. Many leaders feel an urgency to return to academic learning, perhaps as a familiar ritual that could provide comfort to teachers and students alike. However, school and district should address the well-being and connection needs of their students and staff, both as a first priority before academic teaching and learning in an ongoing way throughout this and every school years. Scientific evidence suggests that well-being and connection are prerequisites.
That's a hard one.
Prerequisites.
One more time. Prerequisites.
Prerequisites to effective teaching and learning. Children, youth, and adults need to first feel regulated. That is, feel physically and emotionally calm and they and then feel emotionally connected in safe and responsive relationship before they can be ready and able to engage effectively in formal instruction. Further, rest and recovery are not anathema to excellent and high expectation. Science shows that rest helps humans to be more innovative, more creative, and more productive. When we allow ourselves to rest, we invest our sustainability.
How to cultivate well-being for all.
Who get to be well, leader at every level should be an unfleeting look at which students are served well and which students are being left behind. Many schools have never been the sanctuaries for some students that they are for others. They have not been places of belonging
Places, put the S. They have not been places
of belonging or connection. They have not been places where every student knows. Places where every student knows that the authors believe in them or hold high expectations for their futures. In short, they have been places that perpetuate the same system of oppressions often found in other aspects of their life. Working toward being well-being in schools must be done hand in hand with the work of transforming schools to be anti-racist. Racist.
You got it.
To truly know, value, and serve all students, schools must be embrace the primacy, strength, and self-determination of the children, families, and communities they serve. Schools achieve these conditions for successful teaching, learning, and thriving by authentically embracing the value, histories, and relationships of all students, their families, and their communities. They strengthen these conditions by engaging in a continuous cycle of self-reflection, authentic and open partnership with their families and communities, and a willingness to share the resources and power to lead and operate their school. To achieve equity, educators must truly value Black and Brown students and their communities and act to dismantle racist, dismantle racist, homophobic, xenophobic, and other systems of oppressions.
Yeah.
They must address their implicit bias.
Yeah, implicit biases. You got it right.
And embrace culturally responsive teaching practices so that every child knows that their identity is valued and have a sense of agency and belonging in school. They must create systems and policies that allow all students to learn, grow, and achieve their highest potential.
Good. How to plan for a better tomorrow.
What if 5 years from now we look back on 2020 as a year that K-12 education took the first real step toward becoming a truly equitable, sustainable system and gives each and every child in the education and care they need to develop a sense of personal purpose, the ability to sustain healthy relationships, a sense of place in the community, success in school and the workplace, and agents, citizenships,
Engage.
engage. The benefit of so much uncertainty is that so much more looks possible despite our
Chaotic.
chaotic contest. It is important to stay focused on the azimuth of our aspirations. This moment brings will it an opportunity to set ourselves on a path toward creating on a path for every person in the school community to teach, learn, and serve. For Jill News English, and Mary.
Great job. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Khánh ơi, share màn hình đi.
What?
Now that it's turn to my Khánh.
Are we done now? Are we finished? Okay, bye. Bye.
Goodbye, teachers. Have a nice day.
You have a nice day too. Great. Good evening, rather. Bye bye.
Goodbye teacher.